Hello. So, exciting. I've been calling this Sutter Butts. I think. Definitely. Buttes. Okay, good thing it's not Butts. I've been calling it Butts this whole time. I was watching, I was just chilling, watching some video on like Sci Sci Channel. Let's find it. Let's find it. I was watching. Apparently, it's not there. Sci Channel, maybe. I don't know if that's actually the name though. Four strangest geological something. That one. Okay. SciShow. Maybe it was there. I don't know. But anyway, they brought up that Sutter Butts Buttes. Sutter Buttes. Oh, the things, the problems with that I'm like, yes, I'm becoming exposed to topics as I go, and it shows, but like that doesn't mean that the path isn't shedding a light every step of the way. So, okay, I here's Sutter Buttes. Here's California. Here is Sulawesi and North Maluku Islands, which I've been saying formed adjacent. So, without getting into detail about that, I talked about that enough in other videos. I'm not sure where anything about. I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of the ones where I talk about it long enough, it's just like the image. Okay. But up here, though, Sutter Buttes, which is a counter to Una Una Island. So let's check out real quick. Scholar Una Una Island. Geology. I'm I'm not sure. This island might not have an easy resource to find, reference to find that actually is like, this is how old it is. Without, it's just so small. Oops. Okay, so interesting things. Let's see. The smallest mountain range in the world. That's why it was in the video. Smallest mountain range in the world. Even though not really a mountain range, actually, it's remnants of an extinct volcano from about 1.6 to 1.2 million years, from what I'm understanding from the couple videos I've watched. So, like, seemingly it's in that general time frame. Obviously, I'm just getting it from videos in that at that stage, but I'm not like the reason I would like go to a more technical source would be to be like, is it really more like 65 million or something of that line? So because it's like 1.6, I'm like, all right, it's probably more recent formation. So that's a little anomalous, honestly, because it's almost like it formed after the fact of their separation and not while they were adjacent, which is odd. I'm not sure what to make of this. Like that they're so distinctly similar, and like not just that, but that the whole coastline has actual bonds that physically broke and left behind physical imprints where they broke and shaped the islands from which broke or something. The islands that broke had bond shapes broken into them, while the location they broke from have like a bond shape remnant still imprinted there. Ugh. Okay, let's go on though. So, formed by repetitive dome eruptions, so just basically eruptions for the Sutter Buttes. Let's go to Sutter Buttes. Sutter Buttes. So apparently it has what's called the lava domes section, and then the moats where like debris is not, I think, basically like a ring of like where things are not, I guess, because it's called a moat. And then an apron where like the debris is over here. So it's really like I've been saying a current generally caused it. It looks like an eye. A current generally caused it, probably by flowing up here, is my thought, or through the whole basin when it was being shaped, that then brought the current of magma beneath the crust, that, or even within the crust, at a relatively low, definitely beneath because it's erupting from just there pretty much. But a magma that basically was forced to like spiral to a point where it just erupted from there at the center of this region. Okay. Seems to have originated from the same magma as another volcano that was over here called Clear Lake Volcano, which had a 2.1 to 0.01 million years dating. Intrusion. Yeah, there's an intrusion here, I guess, maybe. That's a few miles to the west that did not reach the surface, but of the same magma. It made me think of like a dendrite, like a lightning strike that, like the current is spiraling up, but there's more than one eddy. Maybe there's another eddy here that just wasn't as like energetic enough to really reach. Okay, so then I came across this video, and let's start maybe like here. She's gonna tell the story of the Native Americans' interpretation. She's saying that it's like a sacred mountain range, which is like immediately is like, oh, wait a minute, that's like kind of like Girnar vibes. Go on. So that's where I'm at, is I'm feeling Girnar vibes with this Sutter Buttes. So let's see what's up. Maybe here.
To Middle Mountain. Rising about it. It was very sacred to the Indians, the Maidu Indians. And a little bit of information about it is, it says the Maidu Indians who lived east of the Buttes called them the Histamyani and the Wintu Indians. Who lived to the west knew them as an Onole Toll. Both names translate to Middle Mountain. Rising like an island in the center of the Sacramento Valley, the Sutter Buttes figure prominently in the creation stories of these two Native American tribes.
Okay, before I keep going, pardon me, Middle Mountain. It just made me think, like, it's generally considered to be Middle Mountain because there's like this gap, mountain, gap, this. So, like, Middle Mountain, the end. And I'm like, wait a minute. Could it have, like, there are things about Girnar that are like, they knew what they were saying, and we don't quite understand it anymore. Where this maybe I'm just wishful thinking about it, that it is that way. I mean, it kind of makes sense that maybe it just is the middle of the, and I mean, that's pretty unique in and of itself to a point where maybe it really is why it's called Middle Mountain. But I feel like maybe it's got something to actually do with this Sulawesi breaking away, Una Island in this region. There's the Yellowstone magnetic field line that actually goes to Sutter Buttes, by the way. At least that's what I called it then. I'm not sure if that's truly a magnetic field line. It's pretty much, it's just reminiscent of what assuredly is one down here. Complex one. Although maybe it is, like, it has a small side one and then a big, real big one, but where essentially over here there's volcanoes. Over here on this one there's volcanoes here. Here's Fiji. These are volcanoes. Here's that shape that from here, from this Vancouver Bay to basically Sutter Buttes is the shape that's reminiscent of this relative to the side, but coming from Yellowstone here with a path out to Vancouver Bay and a path out past Sutter Buttes and basically to here, where then it seems to go energetically be tied to maybe Shatsky Rise of all places. Sky Rise. Shat. Shatsky Rise. This region here is effectively this current coming from here, from Yellowstone region, from the region of Yellowstone that went out this way to this boundary, was initially before the ocean opened. Before any of this region had formed, when just the Western Pacific had opened. All of this yet having formed, this region was physically here, it looks like. And then the energy goes into here, but it also interacts, I guess. This actually, I also realized, is possibly physically came from like right here and like slid out. Maybe it slid out this way. Kind of disintegrated the batholith or whatever. I think it's a batholith. Whatever the structure is actually technically called, that was just like this long, solid wall to produce a boundary to the continent to hold the crust above sea level and support like surrounding crust shape to allow for currents to flow underneath it. But that thing, like that was going right there. Right there. Where this one maybe comes from higher. Sorry. I don't want to get too distracted on looking at this already. Let's go on.
Origins stories differ. And they would say the Middle Mountain because it sits in the middle between the Sacramento Valley and here. And this is the smallest mountain range in the world. Let me get a little bit closer here. Okay.
What are the coordinates for this?
Sometimes the Sutter Buttes, at some time, the Sutter Buttes arose out of the water or darkness or chaos, created by the falcon spirit animal. In other stories, the Buttes
Created by the falcon spirit animal. Birdman. Birdman. Is Birdman this far back? Wow. Sorry, guys. I know I'm just like bombarding. Like, you want me to even? I can't keep up with this. Whatever, dude. Oh my god. But basically, realistically, playlist Mount Girnar, of which for sure Birdman is in here. Although I don't have... That's probably fine. I try to make this one very much the ones that are like focused on this region of Birdman, of...
out of the water or darkness or chaos, created by the falcon spirit animal. In other stories, the Buttes were where Earthmaker dwelled after having made the world. But just as the Sutter Buttes have a place at the beginning of creation, they also play a vital role at the end of life. In many Native traditions, the Buttes are a mysterious, powerful portal to the spirit world, a stopping point for the dead on their journey to the afterlife. In some traditions, the Buttes are so powerful and holy that stepping foot in them is forbidden except to healers and spiritual leaders. So that's very important. So anybody that comes to this area to visit, you are to have utmost respect for this area because it is very sacred. And one of the key lines here is that the earth maker dwelled after having made the world. Will we know who the earth maker is? To everyone. That's God. That's very strong, powerful words. And then it says, to quote this again because it's very important, in many native traditions, the Buttes are a mysterious, powerful portal, the spirit world, a stopping point for the dead on their journey to the afterlife. So this is saying that there's, a portal, and as souls are on their way to the afterlife, to journey there, that this is a stopping point. That's what some of the native traditions believe. That's very strong and powerful words there. And it says here again, the Buttes are so powerful and holy that stepping foot in them is forbidden except to healers and spiritual leaders. That's very important. I'm going to go a little bit closer here. There's the east, and then here's the west end. Okay, I have some more videos that I will do more extensive research on these mountains.
Thank you, madam. Let's check that out. What do you mean? Sutter Buttes, origin story. First European to see was 1806. Okay. Middle Mountain controversy. Located in the Central Valley of California, indigenous religious traditions, and maybe it's something to do with there being towers all over it. All sorts of other stuff. Sutter Buttes are a small volcanic cluster of mountains that were a historically safe space for both the basic needs and the spiritual practices of the indigenous Maidu and Winton people. These two tribes were based in the flatlands on the opposite sides of the peaks. And before modern levees and dams were built to contain the rivers, winter storms and spring runoff frequently turned the Sacramento Valley into an inland sea, making the Sutter Buttes an island refuge for Native Americans, settlers, and wildlife. The Sutter Buttes Project. The Sutter Buttes were also considered a sacred space, which, according to Eliade, I don't know if that's a person or like a writing, implies a hierophany, an interruption of the sacred that results in detaching a territory from the surrounding cosmic milieu and making it qualitatively different. And indeed, beyond a functional safe haven, the Sutter Buttes hold both ceremonial and mythical significance to both the Maidu and Winton. The Maidu and Winton refer to the land as Esto Yomani and Ono Laito, respectively, both of which mean Middle Mountain. I may be reading what she read. We'll see. It looks like not, though. While both tribes, just having the same topic, so same, like, middle, of course, everyone's going to say that it's named the Middle Mountain if they're talking about this topic. So I think that it's probably not, but just by its length. While both tribes viewed this spot as a sacred space, neither permanently lived in these mountains, for it was thought that the area was a special place to be revered, a place for spiritual and physical sustenance, not a place to live. They did not live in the Middle Mountain, but rather came there to draw sustenance from the landscape, both physically and spiritually. By hunting and gathering, they fed their bodies, and by reaffirming their living in harmony with the world, they strengthened their beliefs. Beyond viewing the mountains as a place of ceremony and connection to the Creator, Middle Mountain also holds a strong place in Winton and Maidu mythology. According to the Winton, after a great flood that destroyed the earth, the Sutter Buttes rose from the receding waters, forming the first land whereupon a renewed creation began. For the Maidu, the Middle Mountain was figuratively and literally at the heart of their spiritual beliefs. The story of its beginning centered on its appearance where once there was only sea. The very first man. That's crazy to think about. It's just like the water draining, but then, or the earth expanding rapidly so that the water drains enough so that it physically retreats to reveal this island in the midst of this territory. Rose from the receding waters, forming the first land whereupon a renewed creation began. For the Maidu, the Middle Mountain was figuratively and literally at the heart of their spiritual beliefs. The story of its beginning centered on its appearance where once there was only sea. The very first man and woman were created there. Additionally, after death, the Maidu believed that the souls of their people ascended to the top of its highest peak. Like looking like, are there faces, like many faces? Like here's a nose, forehead, eye, lip, chin. Pardon me. As with most native populations in the United States, beginning in the 19th century, a series of devastations occurred in the area that both depleted and scattered the indigenous populations. In the 1830s, a malaria epidemic brought by European fur trappers killed an estimated two-thirds of the area's native population. Later, diseases such as smallpox and cholera, that's right, cholera, killed even more. The California Gold Rush displaced ancestral villages when the establishment of towns pushed the few remaining Indians onto remote village sites. When California joined the United States in 1850, the state passed legislation allowing for Native Americans to be forced into apprenticeships These of forced into apprenticeships. These events devastated what was once the densest population of Native people in America. Finally, in 1862, many Sacramento Valley Indians were forcibly relocated to a reservation. As a result of these culturally annihilating events, Middle Mountain was eventually renamed Sutter Butte. Further, the native populations lost their connection to the land through private purchases by ranchers and farmers, who remain largely in control of the area to this day. Lo, today, the closest Native American settlement in the Winton Rancheria, or tribal land, about 10 miles west. The land nonetheless remains an important part of the indigenous people's history and mythology, and has come to be threatened by the very factor that has arguably prevented its exploitation sooner: privatization. Okay. Do we keep going? I'd like to see more on the, like, mythology. Maybe mythology. Maybe this is what she read. Northern. The beginning of creation. That's fascinating. Middle Mountain. Okay, well, the falcon part of it makes complete sense. Out of the water, or darkness, or chaos. I mean, that makes sense. Chaos, maybe even referring to like a imbalanced swirl. It's not actually at equilibrium, like literally chaos. In like a maybe technical sense. Whereas I don't know what to make of that. Like I'm open to it. But like it's not Precambrian, so it's a little strange to me. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. Stop it. Yeah, this is what she was reading. The range was once thought to be oblong, but the buttes are circular, with a different appearance from all sides. So cool, like there's many faces in the mountains. How epic. Some like Avatar type thing or something. It makes me think of pardon me, I don't know if that happens whatsoever in there, but it just makes me think of like that the way of the leaf, maybe, whatever. One with nature to that stage. Butte County, flat table is about 20 million years old. Okay, that's the range, but the buttes are circular with a different appearance. South Butte is the highest point at 2,132 feet, part of a system of magma upthrust, and the uprising occurred in relatively recent times, about 1.6 million years ago. Compare that with Oroville's Table Mountain, once thought a myth to be the base of Sutter Buttes that slid westward. The flat table is about 20 million years old and from 1590 to 890 feet in elevation. The tops of the buttes can sometimes be seen poking out of the valley, fog from Tableton Mountain in the winter. Let's check it out again like this. Maybe even find it on here. Like more exactly on here. Oh yeah, it's along this boundary. Let's get its jeeps. Its chords. Jeeps. I want a jeep. Okay. It's opposite world over here, so 130. 121. 121.58. 121.58. And then 39.22. Really is down here. So it's more in line with like the beginning, and then it bends here. So I guess it's not in line. I thought it was in line. I thought it was in line with this. Okay, well it's in line more with this, so it's more... Is it right there, was it? 39.22. 121.81. Ew. Ups. $39.22. Okay, like there. Right there. Some reason. Like right at the divide. There's a swirl going around it, it seems. What the... This just... It seems off like here. Could it be a middle mountain, like the middle between this thing and... I don't know. see what this is. Basically the same. 39.21. 121.02 minus 29. There. Oh my god, mouse. Odd. That's very odd. So it's around here. So more in this direction. I don't know what to make of that. That looks like spiral was happening there. Pardon me. I haven't inspected this that closely right here. There's just so many currents to look at. I just haven't looked at like this at specific angles, if you will. Different angles to look at the same currents and see different aspects of what's going on, I guess. It's looking like this current from over here goes up this way and like is able to go out here, but some of it starts to go physically up along the boundary. Flows in, gets trapped in here, creates this shape, but then generally like flows around it, where it runs into this current and interacts with it, maybe creating this wedge structure here, and then bends around where it runs into this, maybe even contributes to building the mass here, and then makes its way around it and gets pushed out here, this current, relatively speaking, or maybe generally goes up this way, or actually pushed out here maybe is closely tied to this, where the current coming here is going this way. Or that's actually before this mound, so maybe that mound is happening leads to swelling over by the currents coming out this way. I think that's what's... It's so complicated. And then to not be like exact is so frustrating to have people doubt me when it's like, dude, this is like a thing going on. We literally haven't even considered the ways in which current flows considered in this map can add just so much insight, because that's what happened. It's just a matter of figuring out the nuances. I mean, just because I don't know how every current was flowing doesn't mean that I don't recognize current flow when I see it. Just because I can't do the equations to make you guys happy, or choose not to, whatever, to like put the time and energy in to like write a paper that's like crossed all the T's, dotted all the I's, made it look so undetectable that I could somehow get it printed. It's too much effort when I'm fucking just like what? I don't got time for that. Although I've been thinking about just like what am I gonna do? Sooner or later I'm gonna really stabilize. Okay, I feel like I've arrived at a strong understanding of the overall process of the Earth, how it expanded, how even atoms work, and I don't know. That's what's possible in these currents, and then the line of reasoning that's gotten to these currents being seen as currents. Okay, so Sutter Buttes. I guess that's probably all we're gonna hear about it, is the things that we've already come across. That the tribes literally didn't live. They didn't live there. They're like, ah, too sacred. Dude, what am I gonna do? How do I not look at this place some more? Missile launch complex. You guys are trolling. Trolling. Governments are just straight up trolling. Is there seriously a fucking missile launch? What? It must be near. Okay, let's just go ahead and is that everyone? We flying, boys and gals. Sorry, pardon me. I'm just shy. I'm just shy. uh, okay. It's more so information over top. Nuts. I'm trying to get like video. Maybe like this. This doesn't look high resolution.
Years.
Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. This one looks higher resolution. Ooh. Thank you. If if I'm watching your video and I don't like it, sorry. I hope that people interested can, pretty much people gotta do the research. That's how I feel. Like, it's right there. It's not like I'm not linking it. Like, it's right there. If I don't, like, just because I don't, like, type it for people doesn't mean they can't type it themselves if they're interested. That's how I feel. So part of me is I'm not paying attention to the, hey, what's up, y'all? Oh my god. That's what I'm talking about. That kind of shot. Oh, cool. These are nice little. I like it when it has that, like, I don't even know what it is. That stuff. The color, but all the color it adds. It just adds just color. It's a little splash. Oh my god. What? Is that in the rock? What in the... Is that on the rock? Is that the yellow stuff? But when it's not yet yellow? Or past yellow? I don't know. It's gotta be on the rock. That would be incredible if it's part. It's gotta be on the rock. Like, what in the... Just thinking like maybe it's in the rock because of the location where there's maybe some mixing of something. I don't know. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, aerial tour. Pardon me, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. We're going flying. Okay. Pardon me. As cool as this is, there's got to be like a more continuous. Maybe it's all just cameras they have pre-attached, so this is the kind of angles we get, which is understandable. Oh my god, I wish it was faced away from that plane. It's a cool shot. It's a cool shot. Here we go. I think they got certain cameras coming up for the good shots. Okay. What is up here? Pardon me, guys. I'm just a fiend for data. Just give me the data. Just give me this data. It's not like completely untrue. Wow, that's incredible. I don't know what to make of it right now. I'm thinking it's got some significance that I'm not appreciating in like a understanding the nature of reality kind of way, which makes it like significant historically for in a way where like someone knew way back when they looked at it, they were like, that has significance, and started to like attempt to maintain that knowledge by passing it down in tradition. But like the ones who understood it are no longer around to really maintain it, so it just becomes like undefensible when someone comes along and doubts it. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, that's what we've been saying. What, you think we're doing this for no reason? What, you think we just pass this story on for sake of it? Just, well, fuck. Like, but, like, there's a reason. I don't know, but that's the thing is without the like understanding still present, it's almost like the subsurface is not there, and it's got like a support structure of this solid backbone of lineage of people telling the story. Boom, 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 boom. But like time passes, the world settles down, people start living and like having offspring who didn't experience what happened, and as far as they can tell, it's just like you and I have experienced pretty much, where like I assume maybe some people were alive then that are here, maybe, or other reasons people are more aware and tapped into like the process of the experience of the process of the Earth's expansion. But like once the children were the ones telling the stories, they pretty much were susceptible to the like extended line of just it being almost just something that can't be like explained besides just the story without the like real crux of why it was just so important. I don't know. That's my take on it. Is it seems like this place has that kind of vibe. I don't. It's just some mounds that are sharp peaks that are interesting, but I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily immediately see any kind of Girnar structure. Maybe we should look at it more in that fashion. Like, is there any geometric, like, something across here kind of thing? Oh my god, it's just a bunch of seemingly it's just a bunch of circles. A bunch of circle type structures overlapping one another. A bunch of circle type structures overlapping one another. Could it be like energetically related? I don't think it's like happening there. I don't think. Actually. Oh my god. Could it be? Like before this slid away, maybe this for a time was forming actually above here. Like. On a smaller globe where this segment that I cut out that I aligned with this boundary basically continues to wrap around and forms a boundary like we were talking about earlier where this portion goes up here, perhaps. And so maybe like this region was like towards Sutter Buttes. Not to say that it obviously it didn't like simultaneously happen, but maybe that there were all these like nova circle explosion opening of this like an opening, like a place for current to freely flow significantly because it was just widening a gap in the earth that also had this current involved. So there's a current coming this way that then splits this way and this way. Underneath of this whole region, Central America, that is present at the time, whatever portion of it all is present. I'm not sure if every bit of it's present. Whatever portion is present in the shape that it was present at the time is atop the slab of Pacific oceanic crust that I'm placing here. But it bends around up here, it seems, in a way where potentially, at least for a time, maybe like this one was near. It's hard to say without a smaller globe and a more precise, exact alignment of all this, which really requires like a lot more than one man could possibly do, dudes. I'm just saying. Sooner or later, some people with some skills at like specific things would be appreciated. Because I'm a generalist who's kind of just mediocre across the board, but because of a widespread distribution of interests, has technical interests, has come to conclusions that are maybe previously not accounted for. Okay, before I go just stroking myself or whatever. Maybe though it was over there, this region, like to a degree. This was here. Maybe like reshaped in the process, so it's hard to tell exactly how it was. I'm just thinking. I know my videos are probably sometimes really boring and hard to watch. I do think it's generally actually as ridiculous as it looks. I've thought about it pretty substantially, and I do believe the current came across here and went up through to pretty much to that region initially, maybe. Certainly through here. I feel pretty good about that in terms of the overall information. That right there, I feel pretty good about that right there as being actually related to that there was a current adjacent more like this than there is now because it moved away. Hmm. I don't know. I'll get back to you guys. Sorry, I'll stop wasting time just kind of looking at this, and without much to say on it. I'm just kind of looking, and I feel bad when I'm just looking at it. Alright, see you soon. Happy holidays.